Alright, what's going on, everybody? This is Juan from the Yacht coming to you today with my boy Eddie. He's going to profile his LIGHTSWORN deck profile for us today. And, alright, man, go ahead, get into it.
Alright, what's up, guys? This is my first time ever doing a profile, so I may not do pretty good, but I'm going to try my best. Anyways, I'm going to start with the monsters. I'm running triple JD. Basically, everybody knows this shit blows up anything on the field. You can push for 3,000, do anything you want. So if you don't run it, you must be running punishment or something like that. Next off is Lumina. This is my favorite LIGHTSWORN card. You can spam this. If you got one engraved, you can just keep on returning the other ones and just keep going, and all of a sudden you got a full board. You can make XYCs, you can make link summons, anything you want. They're 3 stars, so you can use the baby, so you can make some good synchros, and then just go off from there. Also, next off is Raiden. Raiden lets you mill, of course, everybody knows that. I like using a card in this deck nobody runs. It's Plaguer Spread. Basically, what I normally do is if I break one of the cards I want to mill, like Felice or Wolf, and if I have it in hand, what I'll do is I'll have Plagues in the grave. I'll special summon him by putting one of my cards I want to mill into the top of the deck, and then I'll mill it off of a Raiden or anything like that to special summon it directly into the field, and then now all of a sudden you got 3 cards on field that you can go off of. So triple Raiden to go off on that combo. Of course, the 2 Plagues, and I run a glow up bulb. In case you ever mill these cards, you can do 1 and 1 or 2 and 1. You can also, if you draw a Felice or a Wolf, you can just special summon Plague, put Felice or Wolf on the top, and then special summon Glow Up, and then what you had on the top of the deck, which was Felice by effect of Plagues, you can just special summon it, and then you can go off of this and make a decode or whatever you want, or you can just pop Felice to mill 3 and just anything like that. I don't think anybody runs Plagues, but I think it's really good card. You can use it anytime, really. And then if you need a synchro to blow up the field with the Black Rose or anything like that that you may need, you can always bring it back, just like Glow Bulb you can. Next off, of course, the remaining 2 Felice and the 3 Wolves. You always want to mill this so you can go into combos. Goblinberg, I run this at 3. I used to not even run any Goblinbergs at all, but I noticed that I would always draw a Wolf or Felice since I run 3 and 3. So I started doing this, and my bro Juan, he's the one that told me to add him on, so I gave him a try, and they came out to be really good because every time I normal summon them, I can special summon the break card from my hand and then make a, Minerva or anything like that, and then go off of that. Next off, I have the babies Minerva. Basically, if you mill this, it's an extra mill, of course, and then it's a tuner. So if you got Lumina, you can discard a Plague or anything like that that you can use in the grave, and then special summon this and make 6, or you can just discard the Plague, special this from your grave, use Plague's effect, and just go off from there. Next off, it's 2 Honest. Honest, basically just to run over any strong monsters that your opponent may have, and it's just a really good card. If you run through a Crystal Wing, anything like that, you can get over. Next 2 is Fairy Tale Snow. You always have resources to bring this snow into the field, so you always want to run this. I don't run at 3 because I normally always mill 1 at the start of the match because I mill so much, and the first turn sometimes I have milled 20 to 30 easily if you pull any of your magic cards. But you can go off of with anything with snow, because you can Book of Moon, and on top of that you can do XYC for Minerva, or you can do a ton of things. Next off, I got Electromagnetic Turtle. Basically nobody expects this to be on the grave, so if you mill it, I just always act like I don't see it, nobody notices it, and whenever somebody's gonna attack one of my remaining LIGHTSWORNs, and you need your LIGHTSWORN to keep milling, I just all of a sudden search in my grave and then banish it, and they just realize that they're over their battle phase, and I can keep going to my next turn. Last one, I got Trick Clown. I just run it at 1 because I don't want to be paying 1,000 too much. I want to be saving those thousands for JD if I have it. But this is a good card because it could be a last resource to bring a Minerva or a Sexel. This deck I run Sexel, which I'll show you later. I'll go into my magics. Of course, I run 3 Charge of the Light Brigades. Basically, you mill 3 and you search 1. Almost always search for Lumina. Unless I have a Plague and a Light Bulb on my grave, I search for a Wolf or a Felice. So I can search it, keep it in hand, use Plague's effect, put it on top of my deck, use Bulb. So you got Plague and Bulb, and then all of a sudden with Bulb you mill that Felice and you got 3 on field. Then you can pop Felice and then mill another 3 for a chance of another Felice or another Wolf. So that's basically what I do. This is just a Wolf. You can even bring Raiden, just whatever you may need on that situation. And next off is Solar Recharge. Solar Recharge, I always try to discard Wolf and Felice just like any other card. You don't want to have them in hand, and it's just a good card. You draw and search, or draw and mill, so that's another 4 cards that you get rid of from your deck. I run this deck at 43, so cards go by really fast. So you're always gonna see a Snow, you're always gonna see a Plague, you're always like, it's really high possibility that you're gonna see cards like that to go off. Next one, I have Reinforcements. What I do with this is I search Goblinberg if I have a Wolf or a Felice in hand, so I can special and make Minerva, or I can search anything you may need. Really, there's not many warriors, but you can always find something that fits the situation that you're in. Next one is Foolish. The reason I use Foolish is for 2 reasons. I can Foolish a Plague if I got a Wolf in hand and I have a Raiden on field or anything like that, so I can special summon my Wolf. Or I use it to basically mill a Wolf or a Felice, and since they're milled, you can special summon them, and then it's a free summon basically. Next off, I got a Desires, just 1. I don't want to be banishing too much of my resources since I'm running 43 cards. 2 Twin Twisters. Sometimes I go to 41 on my deck, that way it's faster. Sometimes I run both Twin Twisters, and the reason why I just keep them right now, and I think it's best to keep them on the deck and not the side deck, is because this is another card that you can get rid of Wolf and Felice from your hand, or a Plague or a Bulb, things that you can use in your grave. And Twin Twisters, I mean, you can destroy a lot of things that can be on the way, that warning, strikes. If you're running against Trick Stars, you can kill something, it helps out a lot. Next off, I run one of these rank up Magic Agent. The reason for this is to bring Sexel. Nobody ever expects it. If you mill it, it's one of those electromagnetic turtle kind of cards. You just like disregard it, don't even look at it, just play it cool, and then all of a sudden, if you can bring Sexel out, you do. And all it takes is 2 4-star cards. So let's just give an example here. If you got these 2, for example, you use the Radiance effect, and you happen to mill these 2, special summon Felice, and then you make Next Voice U right here, and you can make Sexel. And the way you make Sexel is by putting a Utopia and Utopia to Utopia Prime, aligning, and then Sexel. Once you get to lining, you basically add this card from your grave into your hand. That's its effect. Then you activate it and bring Sexel out right away. And Sexel, if you don't know, basically he gains 1,000 attack per card attached to it, so it's at 5,000 right away as you bring it out. And then on your opponent's turn, you can just detach one, and they cannot activate any card effects. So that makes them basically a useless turn, and you got 5 turns that you can do that. So basically, if you bring Sexel, almost always is gonna be a game, unless you're going against Dark Magicians, anything like that they play on your turn, then they'll probably banish it on your turn. But when you summon Sexel, Sexel cannot be destroyed in any way. You cannot destroy it. So basically, you're gonna get to cancel their activations no matter what. Next off, I'm gonna have my 2 traps. I only run Beckoning Light at 2. This card always helps me out. If I have anything in hand, I can always discard it and add it right back up. but that's not the case. What I normally do with beckoning is I'll discard like snows, I'll discard anything I see in hand that works on grave, I'll discard it, and I can add a JD, I can add Lumina to go off and stuff like that. So it's a really good card. Next off is XYZs. I run 3 Minervas. Everybody does. I do. It's a really good card. You can keep on milling. You can draw. If it dies, you destroy cards on the field. It's just really good. Next off, of course, I got the Sexal package, which is Utopia, as I was going earlier. And then I got 1 Baguska. It's a really good card. Everybody knows what it does as well. I run 1 Michael. I do only, I try to do one XYZ of different levels. So I do 6, because you never know, you may run into an occasion that you can do a 6. And I figured out that the best 6 is this card, Bionic. And the reason for it is because you can compose cards. So it's a really good card. Nobody expects it. You can compose really good. Next one is Michael. The reason for Michael, the way I run it, it's not only just for banishing purposes, but when he dies, you can add any number of Lightsworns from your grave into your deck, and you gain 300 life points. So if you have been paying with JD or just anything Trick Clown, your life points are going to be low. You want to get those life points right up. And then also, he mills, so it's a really good card. If you're also running out of cards in your deck, if he dies, you add up a bunch of Lightsworn, so you got more turns that you can play. Next one is Dark Strike. This is an old school card, and it's really, really good. Nobody expects it, but what it does, basically, you contribute any monster on your side of the field and inflict 200 damage per star on that monster you destroyed. So if you pushed for, I don't know, 60 something damage and your opponent's standing at 1,000 damage, you can just make 7, tribute himself, and then inflict 1,400, I'm sorry. Or like you can tribute all your other monsters, then tribute himself, and then you can add up to like 3,000, 4,000 if you got a really good field. Next one is Thought Ruler Archfiend. Basically, this card is really good because nowadays everybody targets. What this does is, every time this card is targeted, you can pay 1,000 life points, negate the activation, and this card stays on the field basically. So if you're running against a deck that targets a lot, you want to do this because you cannot banish since it's a target. You cannot compose since it's a target. You can do a lot of things to it. Also, when you destroy a monster with this card, you gain the life points of the monster destroyed. So whatever you paid on life points, you're probably gonna get back anyways. But it's a good card if you're running against targeting the decks. And last off on my Synchros, I got Trish. Trish is really easy to pull out on this deck. But anyways, you always want to, Trish is really good. You banish 3 and 1 from the hand, which is the best. And on my Link Summons, I only got Decode and Board Load. I don't run anything else because most of the time I got a bunch of monsters on field that I want to get rid of. Like if I do the Plagues with the Light Bulb combo, and I bring a Felice or a Wolf from the top of the deck that I just put with Plague, I'm gonna have 3 already, so I can make a Decode right away and then make my normal summon and go off. Or like if I already had something on field and I do that combo, I make 4 for Board Load and just stuff like that. On my side deck, I don't have any side deck really, or I do, but I'm not gonna put it in here because it's to your own opinion. People run different things. You're gonna run against spirals, you're gonna run against different things, and you know what to run. I'm not gonna like argue with anybody about what you need to be running, but it's your own opinion. But that's really it. Thank you.
Alright guys, this is Juan from the Yadalog here signing out. Thanks Eddie for showing us your deck profile. This is a really competitive deck actually guys, so don't take it for granted. Thanks for profiling on my channel, bro.